Today I'm reviewing a watch that I wanted to buy for years. Every time I was about ready to pull the trigger, some other filthy little minx turned my head. But I finally bought it, and it's a watch that doesn't even know its own name. It used to be called the Citizen Chandler, then it became the Citizen Garrison, before Citizen realised they had a far catchier name up their sleeves, the Citizen BM8180-03E. I have absolutely no idea what Citizen were playing at when they named this watch. The strange thing is, if you search for either a Citizen Chandler or a Citizen Garrison, this isn't the only watch that shows up. Great work from the Citizen marketing team. Before we crack on with the review of this one, at the end of the video, I'll throw an alternative option if this one doesn't quite tickle your pickle. It clocks in at around £100 or $220. For once, the US are paying an awful lot more for this watch than we are in the UK. I bought this one used for £45 and it didn't come with the original strap. By all accounts, I've dodged a bullet there, as I've heard the original strap is about as comfortable as watching a sex scene with your parents in the room. We've got a 37mm stainless steel watch here. It's got a screw-down case back, a push-pull crown, 18mm lugs, mineral crystal and a day-date complication. It's just 9.5mm thick. The movement is Citizen's Echo Drive E101, an old Echo Drive movement, but still a good one. Essentially, it's a quartz movement, but the battery gets charged by light, which is great, unless you happen to live in the north of the UK, where the daylight is so rare that it's celebrated with an annual human sacrifice. Once the watch is charged, you've got a 180-day battery reserve, which is outstanding. The movement also has a really nice little trick to let you know when the battery is low. It will tick every 2 seconds rather than every second, which is a handy way to tell you that your watch is feeling the effects of seasonal affective disorder. It's a compact little unit with a short lug-to-lug length, which makes it great for those that either prefer a smaller watch or have got wrists like a 9-year-old girl. No judging here. This is a very simple feel watch when it comes to it. We've got a flat black dial with Arabic numerals. Unlike most feel watches, we don't have the 24-hour numerals on this one. That makes it a little simpler than a lot of similar feel watches. The dial design is nice enough without being spectacular. If you look very closely at the dial, you can see the solar panel just underneath it. It's not something you'd notice without specifically looking for it, but it's kind of cool to see. We also have a day-date complication, which is the smallest I've ever seen. Yes, my eyes are starting to fail me a bit now, but I think it could be a little bit bigger. I always think of Citizen a bit like Volvo. I suspect their audience is a bit more on the mature side, so I'm not sure that tiny text is a smart move. Still, if you've got good eyesight, you'll be fine. The hands are sword-shaped and semi-skeletal, but they're quite chunky, which is a good thing in my books, as it means you get a good application of Lume. I'll come back to the Lume a little bit later on. The second nod is red to add a little bit of colour to an otherwise colourless design. It works well and it does add a little interest. Worth noting on mine that the second hand doesn't hit the markers if that's something that bothers you. On to the case design. I mentioned when I reviewed the Ardennais RA05 that I wasn't sure that a polished case really made sense on a field watch, and I was apprehensive about this one for the same reason. Let's say I'm out on a mission and my entire team has been killed, leaving me as the last man standing. I'm holed up, but the enemy doesn't know where I am. In a rather fortunate turn of events, all of the enemy are in a perfect line, and I can take them out with a single shot from my sniper rifle. I quickly check my watch to note the time, and the sun glistens on the surface of my watch, and the enemy is alerted to my position. Before you can say what a ridiculous hypothetical situation, I've taken 6 bullets in the brain. All of this could have been avoided with a nice bead-blasted case. Sorry, got a little bit carried away there. Actually, the polished case works pretty well. The bezel and the sides of the case are polished and the front of the lugs are brushed, which just takes away a little bit of that reflectiveness. If I compare it to a Timex Weekender, which has a fully polished case, it doesn't feel as in your face. It's not as noticeable, which is a good thing. Okay, let's talk about the Lume. We've got Lume on the hour and minute hands and the numbers. The Lume glows a blue colour. Because the hands are quite chunky, the Lume tends to last quite well. The Lume on the numbers fades first. On the whole, I'd say the Lume is about average on this watch. On the wrist, this one is right up my street. It's small enough to go unnoticed, and the short lug-to-lug makes it a comfortable wear. For field watches, I tend to go with NATO straps, and this pairs up well with a range of colours, making it a versatile little watch. It'll tuck under sleeves nicely, and it's not a watch that you'll catch on things due to its slim size. Here's the watch on a few different straps that I've got kicking around. It works pretty well on all of them, even the horribly cheap leather strap. I did also buy this leather NATO, which I thought it would look great on. Sadly, it's too thick to fit under the spring bars. It's a shame actually because it's quite a nice looking strap. I'm a bit gutted about that one. I do really like this watch and it could almost be the only watch in my collection. It's durable, it's got water resistance, and the solar means it's a kind of wear and forget watch. My only gripes with it are really minor and not things that would stop me buying or recommending it. And they are the small date complication and the lack of 24-hour numerals. That's it. Everything else is really good here. Sure, we could have sapphire, but I don't really tend to beat my watches up that badly, so it's not a make or break for me. If the Chandler Garrison BM8180 isn't up your street, then I'd recommend taking a look at the Timex Expedition Field Post Solar. This one is available in 36 or 41mm cases. It comes in at a similar price to the Citizen. It's got 100 metres of water resistance, which is helped out by a screw-down crown and a screw-down case back. It also does come with a sapphire crystal, and it embraces that field watch style more than the Citizen does. I've never owned this watch, but it looks like a great alternative solar option. In terms of the spec, it's better than the Citizen, but it is 12mm thick, which in my book is far too thick for a field watch. And that's about all I've got time for. I'll be back soon with another watch review that I've spent way too long making, only to get called an idiot in the comments. Living the dream.